Good morning, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining me from. I am Carol C. Miller, your positive life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you with another Monday, Tuesday, Thursday episode of Let's Chat, where we focus on embracing our lives, all of it, to heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. I am here in Chicago. It is a gorgeous fall day in the high 60s, low 70s, my perfect kind of weather. Some people like it hotter and some people like it cooler, but 65, 75 is my sweet spot unless I'm on the water. And then 75, 85 is pretty nice. But let me know where you're joining me from. Again, I am here in Chicago and I'm happy to be here. I love helping people to inspire them to live their best life, whatever that looks like. We all have different hopes and dreams and aspirations. So, my focus is to help heighten your celebrations and lessen your sorrows by focusing on what we want in our lives rather than what we don't want in our lives. When the don't wants are happening right now, it's very easy to give them a lot of our attention. But the daily practices that I share with you here, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, is to help you incorporate them into your lives. Daily practice on focusing on what you want more than what you don't want. Again, it's going to happen as far as all of the emotions that we have visit us from time to time. But the more we practice them and the more we're aware of them, then the more we're in control and we are leading our life rather than letting life lead us. So I will come into comments as we go along and definitely at the end because hi Nikki and Mindy and Gloria and Sylvia, thank you for joining me. As all of you know, because you are regulars or have been here before, I totally get sidetracked if I go into comments right away. So I'm going to first start with talking about our topic for today, and before that, I like to remind people a couple things about me to help with this conversation moving forward. And one is I'm not a big fan of absolutes. Some people love the always, never, right, wrong, good, or bad. There are 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to say what is right or wrong or good or bad or always or never for 7 billion people. I believe I can say for the majority of people, I'm comfortable with saying the majority of the time I do this or the majority of the time I don't do this. But there may come a situation even in my future that what I say, I have done things that I said I would never do before. So I try and avoid those words. You'll hear me say them every now and then, but I try to avoid those words because I don't know what is best for everybody. Sometimes I'm not even sure I know what's best for me, but if I actually listen to myself, I do know what's best for me. So I work on a scale of 0 to 100, 0 being always negative, 100 being always positive. I don't know anybody who's at 0, and I don't know anybody who's at 100. I know people who are very close to both of those spectrums. And so my coaching practice and my personal practice is to stay in the 80 to 100% the majority of the time. That means fear visits me. That means frustration visits me. That means worry visits me. Anger visits me. All of those normal feelings that we have as human beings visit me, but I pay attention. They don't feel good, so I don't let them move in. They visit. My daily practices keep them at bay or release them or whatever you want to say. But it's about being aware of what I want to be and who I want to show up as each day. So that's the first thing is absolutes are not a big thing for me. You're probably going to hear me say always or never at some point in our conversation, always more than never. But again, it's the majority of the time I try to stay away from those words as much as possible. And then the second thing I like to remind people is I'm a coach. I love coaching. I love helping people work through whatever challenges they may be going through and focusing on living their dreams that they want to live. I am not a counselor or a therapist. And sometimes we're going through things in our life or our past that require a different kind of help than a coach can give you. What I would like to say is you are so very worthy of living your best life, however that shows up for you. So, whether it's somebody in clergy, if you're a religious person, if it's a coach, if it's a counselor or therapist, know that you're worthy of getting those resources and those tips and tools to help you move through and navigate whatever you're going through to live your best life. So that's what I have for you as far as that today. Well, I have a topic still today, but that's the beginning things. Hi, Michelle. Glad to have you here. Where are you joining us from, Michelle? And yes, Mindy, and our topic today, Mindy, I think it's going to even ring true more about why I say let it visit, because anger, fear, frustration, worry, doubt, not one of those is necessarily bad. They're all feelings that I'm not going to say everyone, the majority of us have from time to time, and it could be every day something of that comes into your experience. It's about how much attention do you want to give your anger? How much attention do you want to give your worry, your frustration, your disappointment? They're there to be heard and to be seen. It's part of who you are, and it wants to be recognized. I look at fear or anger, especially anger, as a 2-year-old throwing a temper tantrum. And it's like, see me, see me, see me, where peace, calm, and love is just there to be seen when you're ready to see it. So it's about awareness of what you're moving through and not beating yourself up for having normal human emotions that we all have. It's how much attention are you going to give to them? Belmont, North Carolina. So, Michelle, I have no clue where that is because geography is not my strength. However, I am going to visit a cousin in late October she lives outside of Asheville, North Carolina, but I'm not sure how close that is to you. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. She said the fall leaves will be really pretty then. But today I wanted to talk about fear. And I think it's a heated topic sometimes. It's certainly something that we can easily step into if we're not paying attention, and we can step into it if we are paying attention. So if you're new here, I like to choose a word. Sometimes I have guests in panels and we discuss different things. But when it's generally just me, I like to choose a word to focus on. Then we talk about ways to affirm that word. Although, I did not do an affirmation today. So we'll have to come up with one of those. The definition of the word, and then some quotes around it, and then some tips on how to incorporate that into your daily practice of living the life that you want to live. Again, all of those emotions that we have are going to visit. The more we're aware of them and the more we practice our daily practices, the more likely they're just going to visit and not move in and um, put a mailing address in where that's what we're going on. If we're going on autopilot, life is living us. We are not living life. When we're aware of what's going on in our lives, whether it's good, bad, right, wrong, happy, sad, we're able to make adjustments from that because we're aware of what's going on. So now we're in control of our lives rather than life being in control of us. So the word today is fear. And the definition, Merriam-Webster's definition, is an unpleasant, often strong emotion caused by anticipation or awareness of danger. An unpleasant, often strong emotion caused by anticipation or awareness of danger. And that danger can be physical danger that we're afraid of, or it could be an emotional feeling that we're afraid of something going on that isn't even in our physical presence right now. So it's important to think about that as well. And then the quotes that I came up with today are: nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. And that's Marie Curie. And then the second one, love is what we were born with. Fear is what we learned here, Marianne Williamson. And the third one is mine. Invite fear to visit, just don't allow it to move in. Yours truly. So the tips for today on fear, I do have a strict cutoff at noon today because I have a client meeting I need to jump into. But the tips is to feel your feels. Just because sometimes I think that when we're afraid of something, like we think it's bad, we know it's bad, we don't want to feel afraid. So we push it off and pretend it doesn't exist. And generally speaking, again, I'm not going to say always, that things that we stuff and ignore, they're going to come back some other time because they too want to be heard. It's something within us that just wants acknowledged, so we can either change it, acknowledge it, and move on from it. But when we ignore it, it's still there. It's just being ignored. So it's kind of like when you hear people talk about listen to the whispers, it starts as a whisper. And then all of a sudden it's a little louder. And then all of a sudden it's a little louder. And then it's a lot louder. And then it's like a 2x4 hitting you because you've been ignoring it and pretending it doesn't exist. So you still want to give attention to it and ask it what it's here. What is it here for you to learn? What do you need to experience in that? So it's not about pretending it doesn't exist. It's feel what you're feeling and see if it feels good. If it feels good, stay on course. If it doesn't feel good, be gentle with yourself. Ask what it's here for you to learn from, and then move into feeling a little bit better. There's not a right or wrong on how long you stay in a fearful space. It might be something that was just like that, and you're over it just like that. It might be a bigger fear that's coming up that takes, minutes, hours, possibly days to overcome. But again, when you are aware of it, you are the one who's in control of moving through it rather than it moving through you. So, my first one is to feel your fears. The second one is to remember that, again, the majority of the time, our fears are about something that's happened in the past or something that might happen in the future. For the majority of us, if you're joining me on live right now, you're probably not in a place of fear. There's not a physical something going on in your life that you have to be afraid of. So the majority of us, when we step into fear, it's we're stepping into what might happen in the future. And it often doesn't happen. We have the ability, our imagination can go to so many different places. And in reality, we never even get to that level of fear. Something certainly could happen that could be fearful of job loss, relationship loss. There's lots of things that we can be afraid of. But when we're already afraid of it that hasn't even happened yet, we're giving our power over to the future. So in those moments, and again, fear is going to visit. It's part of life. It's part of humanity. Just know it's like, am I right in this moment? Am I okay? And then go back into this moment. If it's something for the future, then start thinking about, like, maybe something's coming up in the future that you're afraid of. Start seeing it going better than expected. You don't have the ability to know exactly how it's going to go, but you can take the bite out of it by not focusing on it being the worst case scenario, which often there's a few topics. My mom has passed, and my dog Mika, they both passed within 9 months of each other a couple years ago. Those were the two. Anything I could go from 0 to 60 in a nanosecond on worry if I heard something was going on with them, and it would be a worry like they're at death's door now, which was not true. It was just not true. They were both elderly. They were both in the stages of transitioning. But at the moment when I went into the worst case scenario, they were still here with me. And I was already projecting into what was going to happen in the future, which at some point we all pass on. So it's not like it's a surprise in that kind of way either. But I was already living in the future rather than staying in the experience of right now with them still here. I was afraid of what was going to happen, but that was taking me out of the happiness of the meaningful moments of right now because I was already paying attention to the future. So think about that too, that when you're in a fearful space, ask yourself, is it right now? Is it something that I have to deal with right now? And if it is, absolutely deal with it, because there are times that there's something going on in the immediate moment that you need to protect yourself from, whether it's a physical issue, a health issue, or whatever. So fear isn't necessarily always your foe. It can be your friend. It is there to tell you this doesn't feel right. I don't like this. And now you've got the opportunity to shift it and focus on what you do want rather than what you don't want that you're afraid of. So that's another thing that I encourage you to think about. And then, really, I was on a talk this weekend with a group of, it was an international group. Most of them were Iraqis, but they lived in different places in the world. And several of them asked similar questions about how to manage anger in the moment. Well, in the moment of fear, when it's really got its grasp on you, or in the moment of anger, when it's really got a hold of you, generally speaking, if you've done daily practices, you're probably not going to get in that really heated feeling where, again, you're on autopilot. You're not in control. The feeling of anger, the feeling of fear, the feeling of frustration has got you in its grips. Then, if you've practiced daily, I've been doing this for years. All of those emotions still visit me, but they don't tend to anchor into me because of my practices. But when you've gotten to that heated space, you're probably not going to think of ways out of it. It'll be when you come down and calm down just a little bit. That might be calm down in 15 minutes. It might be you've calmed down in an hour from there. And that's when you can go back into thinking about, well, did I really need to elevate that experience to that? It's not about beating yourself up about it, but in that moment when you're that angry or you're that afraid, generally we've cut ourselves off from the tools that will bring us back into a place of calm or a place of calmer. So know that in that moment, it's okay to feel it. And then ask yourself when you're on the other side of it, what can I do to lessen the impact the next time that tries to grasp me? I did that all the time with when I would get into that really worry about my mom. It's like, this is not productive. It's not changing the outcome of anything. It is taking me out of peace. It's not even impacting her because she doesn't know that I'm freaking out that she just called. So it's really about how you can stay centered with yourself and know that the more that you are in a space of calm and peace, the easier it's going to be able to deal with whatever you're afraid of that's may be true. It may be something that is actually a good reason to be afraid, and then you can walk through it with awareness rather than fear of what's coming next. Or it might be something that we've blown up in our own heads. I don't know about you, but I can certainly do that. Like I said, with my mom and my dog, I certainly took it to the worst case scenario right away. Those worst case scenarios in my fear, worry states never happened. Obviously, they both passed, but it wasn't in a moment of panic like I was afraid it was going to be. So it's about showing up as to who you want to be and how you want to be. And then ask yourself, what can you learn from the experience? Like, again, fear is probably going to visit you. Maybe you're somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of fear or doesn't think about things that you're worried about, but ask yourself, what is it in this experience that I can learn from? Maybe you allowed fear to run your whole day. Ask yourself tomorrow, what was it? What did I need to go through yesterday to be able to grow into today? So fear can be a teacher as much as anything by knowing this isn't what I want. I want peace. I want calm. I want joy. I want happiness and all those things. Happiness, joy, peace, calm, they probably aren't going to exist without some examples of what is the lack of those, because it gives you something to realize this doesn't feel good and what will feel a little bit better. So, those are my tips for you today. Michelle, you are 5 minutes from Charlotte. Okay, I'm not sure where Charlotte is either, but I'm going to look on a map when we get done with this call if I have time before my next meeting. And I have a Facebook user, Love from UAE. I am not sure because they're part of my Embrace Your Life community, so it does not say who is on there, but I will go back into the community and say hello as well. So those are the tips for today. Oh, hi, Anna. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you for a few days. Things are getting better with advice from you. My divorce is working well as I've been using your techniques. Excellent, Anna. And again, it's divorce is a hard topic. It's a hard thing to go through. And yet some people go through it with total grace and ease because it was the right decision. Even a hard divorce can be the right decision. I don't mean that some divorces are right and some aren't, but some just, that it's just a natural growing apart where there isn't that emotion attached to it. But I would say from my experience of the people I've witnessed and worked with through divorce, there's a lot of emotion attached to it, and there's a lot of hurt and feeling of failure and all those different emotions that we go through that are part of living, they're part of letting go. And good for you for doing the practices to help you maneuver and navigate a hard situation, because it's just going to make it, even hard situations can be made a little easier by breathing through it, being aware of how you feel, being aware of how you want to feel, and being gentle with yourself through the process. So, hello, Axel. Thanks for joining. And Lisa, always learn from your talks and have helped quite a bit. Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. I appreciate the feedback. I have not said it today, but if you have topics that you would like me to cover to bring a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to, let me know in comments so I can add them to the list. I will be back Thursday. I think I have a topic on going from anger to compassion, so that's probably what I'm going to talk about on Thursday, but it could change. Then I'll be back Monday, Tuesday, Thursday of next week. Tuesday is our next panels discussion, and we're going to be talking about the 5 love languages. I all of a sudden the author of the book, his name has escaped me, but it's been a really powerful book that I years ago read, and it's about the 5 different types of love language that he's identified. And by knowing your own love language and knowing those love languages around you, it's easier. It helps just with the communication that you move forward with. So I'm excited to share the panels with that on Tuesday. Monday, it'll probably just be me. Thursday, it'll probably just be me. And that's you ever help individually. Yes, Michelle, I have my website is carolccmiller.com. I do private coaching, and I'm going to be. I used to do a lot of group coaching, and I haven't done that for a couple years. But I'm going to start doing some more group coaching, probably starting mid to late October, if not the 1st of November. So, but you can find that information out on my website, carolccmiller.com. And as that stuff starts coming up, I will be announcing it here on these lives too. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I am here to help heighten your celebrations and lessen your sorrows. Remembering there is not a one size fits all. It's some things that I say may not work for you, and that's okay. If it does, give it a try. If it doesn't, let it go. You deserve to live a life with love, kindness, compassion, and peace. That's what I'm here to help you do. If it's not working for you, I might not be the coach for you, and that's okay too. Find the person who's going to help you live your best life and know that it comes from within you. I'm just here as a guide. You're the one that does the work for yourself. So take care. Have a wonderful day. It is Tuesday. It's beautiful here in Chicago. I hope wherever you are, you're having a beautiful day. And remember, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to the world. And most importantly, you matter to you. So we'll talk soon. So long for now.